Steve Mnuchin, United States Treasury, is $350 million old, and the Comp General, Eugene Louis Dodaro, hold Congress accountable for the checks and balances, and pay Jesha Miller $350 million owed for imposed slavery by the United States Supreme Court. The Constitution's checks and balances. This is what upholds the integrity of the Constitution. And yes, pay me $350 million. That's Giancarlo Stanton money. That's Stephen Curry currency. No longer a worker, but the owner. No longer borrowing, but the loaner. Owner and a loaner. $350 million. That's what that does. That's a change of status. Now, for this $350 million, ABC, NBC, and CBS, I know all of y'all covered Giancarlo Stanton when he got that $300 million contract. I know y'all covered Stephen Curry when he got the $300 million contract. So why ain't y'all came to see me? Because this is the government cover-up and the media is a part of it. All America, pay attention. About to give some lessons right here. The Constitution's checks and balances. This is what upholds the integrity of the Constitution, which Congress must hear the Constitution's checks and balances. All 100 senators have gotten this, and not one of them has came forward to uphold the integrity of the Constitution, because this exposes government in every branch. Yes. And how do they do that? They do that by, once again, I said, the checks and balances are used because the scales of justice are unbalanced. With the scales of justice being unbalanced, that means the United States Supreme Court itself is corrupt. Now, if the United States Supreme Court itself is corrupt, the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt, because there is no longer an avenue to justice. That is why they got the Constitution checks and balances. Now, how they do this, as I said once again, the media is a part of it. The First Amendment, subsequent punishment, clear present danger, and other tests. That's your First Amendment right there, people. What they've done is usurped we the people's right to freedom of the press to conceal their own corruption and abuse of power in the judicial branch of government. Judge Tanya Pratt. Now, this is a prohibition. I'm going to tell you what's shaking. As you read this, you will see the purpose of the speech press clauses has evidently been to protect parties in the free publication of matters of public concern. This is a public concern when the judges themselves are corrupt. This is a public concern when the United States Supreme Court is corrupt. That calls for the Constitution checks and balances. They got to be checked. I petition that. Checkmate. Now they trying to hide it all. And what that says in this is, in the free publication of matters of public concern, to secure their right to a free discussion of public events. Checks and balances is an event. That's what Watergate was. One of the biggest events in history. Prompted President Nixon to resign. Tricky Dick had to go. Donald Trump. This is his supreme duty to preserve, took that oath, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, checks and balances. That is what upholds the integrity of the Constitution, because they have to be checked. Now, take into account, every senator has been given this. The Indiana Larry Bouchon has been given this to take to the House of Representatives. He ain't done it. He refuses to do it. He gotta go. All these commercials with Larry Bouchon where he's doing this and that and the other, he's just as crooked as the rest of them. Now, listen to this, because the American public needs to know their rights. It enables every citizen at any time to bring the government and any person in authority to the bar of public opinion by any just criticism upon their conduct in the exercise of authority which the people have conferred upon them. The evils to be prevented were not the censorship of the press merely. See, the press censors this and doesn't convey it, inform it, and let the public know. That's an evil, but not just merely that, but any action by the government by means of which it might prevent such free and general discussion of public matters. If the United States Supreme Court is corrupt, that's a public matter. If government is imposing slavery again in violation of the 13th Amendment, prohibition prohibits that. That means it's against the law. Seems absolutely essential to prepare the people for an intelligent exercise of their rights as citizens. Now, in an intelligent exercise of their rights, the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, you got a major national problem with the NFL's players taking a knee because of police brutality, inequality, and social injustice. This is what the Constitution checks and balances does, and that is why your own senators ain't said nothing about it, so they can keep on doing what they doing. The American culture of oppression. And once again, you see this. This is an evil of which they're doing it. The media is not to censor it to prevent it, nor is government in any way. Now, to secure this, it says, the media ain't acting right, trying to conceal it from the public. What do? Redress government to enforce the First Amendment right to freedom of the press and to order Stephen Mnuchin to pay Jesha Miller, that's me, yeah, $200 million. Lotto, hello, here we come. Yeah, everybody want to be rich in America. The opportunity, you got professional baseball players, as I say, Giancarlo Stanton, $300 million. You got basketball players, Stephen Curry, $300 million. You got the lotto. Hit for $500 million on the lotto. So why is government trying to keep black people from getting money? You already enslaved us, made this the richest country on the earth. And still, you still doing this oppression? You still doing this same thing? Reverted back to what you was doing? Violating the right to due process. That's why we got the 14th Amendment right now. We got these sellouts. Derrick Johnson is NAACP president. Been called upon. Call a press conference. Let them know what's going on. It's my time to shine. I've been sent to represent. Gonna do the checks and balances. They still allow us, Stephon Clark, get shot in his own backyard, and all of this can be prevented by the Constitution checks and balances. Now, here we go. Judge. I'm gonna check it out now. It's simple. This is the First Amendment. Enforce the First Amendment, the right to freedom of the press, so the public will know. They not doing this. Now, when I see it, the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt, that requires constitution checks and balances. Powers denied the federal government. Section 9, Article 1, Section 9. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus. Here it is right here. Powers denied government. Article 1, Section 9. The habeas corpus. This United States Supreme Court. This is a petition using the Constitution's habeas corpus. Powers denied government. You see they stamp. When a judge is petitioned by the Constitution's habeas corpus, that's a duty. They gotta check the records. Check the records. Check records, say what they say it. Immediately release that citizen. That's the gravity, how big this is. The United States Supreme Court is imposing slavery. You see it right here. Now, petitioner entitled to injunctive relief for my immediate release from illegal imprisonment with reparations from judgment of the proceedings in the Indiana Vandenberg Circuit County Court that was so lawless that imprisonment pursuant to them is void, and therefore res judicata is inapplicable in a habeas corpus proceeding. The imprisonment cannot be shown to conform with the fundamental requirements of due process. Irreparable harm has occurred and the prosecutor's use of perjured testimony, and therefore the petitioner is entitled to his immediate release. Immediate release. See they stamp. Now, if they didn't release you, this was used for the ratification of the Constitution because the citizens had to have a way to ensure their right to freedom, because that's what the British did. Had you illegally held, no reason, did whatever they wanted, and that's part of the Constitution. Now, there it is again. When they do this twice, refusing to release you from illegal imprisonment, the fundamental requirements have been, they didn't even go by them. There you go. When they did that twice, that's intentional. They have reverted back to what they was doing before. They violated all three charters of freedom. That's the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land. That is the Bill of Rights, which no just government on earth can refuse or rest on inference, meaning they cannot delay because they are in power. They delaying. It's checkmate, baby. Game's over, baby. That's what this is. And so they not trying to be caught. Not trying to be held accountable. Now what does the Constitution checks and balances do? The Constitution checks and balances secures the rights of the people. That would stop social injustice. That would stop police brutality. That would hold them accountable. Then that's what they don't want. They don't want to be held accountable. Christians, judge not lest ye be judged. That's what we talking about right here. You've been judged and now it's your time to be judged, and now they don't want to be judged. Now, break it down. Reason for corruption and abuse of power. In the First Amendment, they sit there and tell you, man is a fallen creature, and he is subject to money, power, and pussy. That's what man is tempted by. Money, power, and pussy. Now, and getting money, they know money is power. Money is the power to, like, okay, for real though, the $350 million, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I ain't supposed to have to go to work tomorrow. No car note, no house note, and nowhere to go I don't want to go. That's control. I told you. Now, you gotta have a motive. Here's the motive. In addition to my release, you got $10 million for the imposed slavery. Then you got $40 million in punitive damages. That's $50 million. That's $50 million. I told you. Now, let's get back to that. Because this judge, y'all see his name up there? There's David Kiley. Vandenberg County, as I told you. At this point, there were no black people in the jury, as there were no black people in the jury pool. We have a right to object to that. That's what my attorney, Dennis Vowles, is telling them. I can tell you that I don't believe, listen what I'm saying, I don't believe, you gotta hurt us, don't believe the law will support it. But this judge right here, yeah, sorry for that interruption, but Humpty Dumpty's about to fall off the wall. Listen to what I'm saying, President Trump. This was your supreme duty to uphold the Constitution. Checks and balances, which you refuse to do, you fall off the wall. You just saw nobody black on that jury. Now, here we go, big time. By that I mean, I don't think Indiana's in full compliance with the federal government motor voter registration law. This is the law. And as a result of we don't get a fair cross-section in the veneer, and as a result of that, my client's rights under the federal and the state constitutions to a fair and impartial jury as mandated, means that's mandatory, that's a must. This is what you gotta do. Through the 14th Amendment and through the federal legislation, I think that's been violated. And the judge said, show it overruled. I tell him, there is a violation, Your Honor. He said, show it overruled, sir. Okay, we're going to start. Okay, you understand what I just said? Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial by a fair and impartial jury. That's been violated. There it is in black and white. Violation of the 14th Amendment. Pay the man $350 million. Yeah, you saw it. It started out at $50 million. And by them refusing, you see it, overruled both the state and the federal constitution. And through all of this, this been to all attorney general. Jefferson Sessions. Let me see here. Tanya Pratt. $200 million. See, it didn't just jump to 350. It continued. It escalated. It went on and on. Like 801 Bridgemont Road, a house that I wanted, was $3 million. Just sold for $1.7 million. My house, my dreams. They didn't pay my money. Out the window goes my dream house. So everything went up. Like the Rolls Royce at that time was $300 million. You know how much a new Rolls Royce Phantom costs now? $600,000. See, everything going up. You know, Porsche 918 called Indiana. They in this too. They started it. Paid me my $21 million that they owed. Didn't pay it. That same car sold for $850,000. There were only 918 of them. That's why it's a 918, baby. 918 are gonna be made. No more, sold out. You know what that car costs now? 1.8, doubled. I'd have doubled my money. The house. I'd have doubled my money. Everything's going up. So now, you didn't want to pay, look, the $200 million, there you go, the judge. Or enforce my right to freedom of the press to conceal your own corruption. Them's crooked judges. And them's crooked judges and the United States Attorney General ain't done nothing. Wait a minute, hold up. Bob Goodlatte. He is the chairman of the House Judiciary. He ain't said nothing. You ain't heard nothing from this man. Trey Gowdy. He's the chairman of the Oversight Committee. Oh, we oversighted this. We missed this. Well, here it is, Mr. Gowdy. He pissed to be Mr. Tough. Mr. Tough uphold the Constitution. He ain't doing it because it's a government cover-up. This is the American culture oppression. Now, catch to this is right now is, I told them, they got to face me. I'm the one petitioning the Constitution, checks and balances. The entire Justice Department is corrupt. Now, you even talk about Christopher Wray. Yep, FBI Director. Trey Gowdy, United States Attorney General. These are all the top, Gowdy, Goodlatte, all of these. All the Justice Department officials are corrupt. They gotta face these checks and balances. Here we go, this judge right here. This is what I want. Immediate restitution, enforcing the rule of law, stopping oppression, and paying $200 million. Immediately restitution, enforce the inviolable right to freedom of the press. Cannot be violated. They violated. It's evil. They did evil. So American people, it's that time. And yeah, while we doing that, who gonna hold them accountable? See, the white guys got a problem. They got a point. They say, yeah, you right, but who gonna enforce your rights? Well, as it's supposed to be done, the Comptroller General, as I was saying, Eugene Louis Dodaro, what he supposed to do is hold them accountable. This is their duty. Now, here we go. Let's start with these guys. Government Accountability Office. They're supposed to hold them accountable. Does not have jurisdiction over the matters you raise. Government Accountability Office is an independent, nonpartisan agency that works for the United States Congress. Catch right there, because I'm ready to catch them. Our mission is to support the Congress in meeting its constitutional responsibilities. Constitution checks and balances is a constitutional responsibility. That cannot get around. That's what upholds the integrity. So why ain't y'all doing it? You see, they seeing that you got to hold them accountability. They know they was wrong with what they did, so their mission is to support Congress. So they supporting Congress violating the Constitution and improve the performance and ensure the accountability of the federal government for the benefit of the American people. Ensure the Constitution. Now, this is what they wrote now. This ain't no joke now, what I'm saying. Because what I'm finna ready to drop on you right about now. Here we go. So, I hollered at him. Correspondence team is corrupt. They trying to conceal it because they say they support Congress. But if you're going to support Congress, you got to support them to do what's right, not what's wrong. If you do that, you're condoning what's wrong, and you're not holding them accountable. So I told them what you're trying to do is to continue the concealment of abuse of power in the United States Supreme Court for the United States Congress. The mission is to support the Congress in meeting its constitutional responsibility and help improve the performance and ensure the accountability of the federal government, as I said. This is your duty to support Congress who has to meet its constitutional responsibility, honoring the checks and balances which are essential. Because I'm ready to pop it off, essential, meaning absolutely necessary. This is absolutely necessary, but they trying to avoid it. They trying to hide these corrupt officials. Extremely important. So you inform Congress they must honor the checks and balances petitioned by Jesha Miller, May 8th. Now, this is being filmed May 10th. They ain't done it. They ain't going to do it. They corrupt. It's time for them to go. I'm just saying, the checks and balances, they got to be checked. It's checkmate. Because once they checked, gigs up, baby. Pay that money in full. Oh, and NBA commissioner, we about to stop all the social injustice, inequality, and police brutality. Papa, y'all rolling with me, baby? Because this is the law of the land, the supreme law of the land. Now, you're either going to do what's right, and you're going to have to stop taking orders from these corrupt officials, because it's supposed to be a showdown. It's a new man in town called the Lawman. Touche the Lawman. Uncle used to call me Shay the Lawman. Oh, when I was a kid, Shay the Lawman. Now look what happened. Here I go. Yeah. So he cannot evade the duty to cover up government corruption. There you go. Giving y'all plenty of time to get this. If nothing else, put it on pause, baby. YouTube got it all day. Damn. Back to this checks and balances, meaning absolutely necessary. Key. It's key. Without that, the Constitution ain't worth a quarter. Vital. It's vital. Because otherwise, as you see, Trump gone crazy, Congress act stupid, and the Justice Department is off the hook, killing peoples. All right, indispensable, all important, mandatory, and obligatory to upholding the integrity of the Constitution. There it is. This is the Darrow. He the man supposed to have an eye on Congress. That's what they're supposed to do. But he ain't doing it. And there you go. How important is the Constitution checks and balances? It is essential. Cannot do without it. All important. Mandatory. That means they gotta do it. So, hold up. Wait a minute. Mandatory, and this says, this is what they say, our work is done at the request of congressional committees or subcommittees, or is mandated by public law. This is mandated by public law. Luis, you gotta go, and that response team better find out every one of them name, because they gotta go too. Oh yeah, this is a crime that y'all committing right here. Aiding and abetting criminal from justice. That's right, I told you it was crime involved. And yeah, mandatory. You got your own mission. You sit there and said it, but you don't want to do nothing. Said your work is done. So, as I said, the motive was $50 million and to conceal the crime of which was committed by exclusion of juries on account of race or color, crimes, section 18243. There you go. Up to the top. Sit there and tell you. Crimes, all Title 18s is crimes. And you want to exclude the race, well, that's a crime. And as you can see, it's time to get paid. Thank you very much. As I said, once again, $350 million. Tell them what I see. I see the top of the Maybach. I see the top of the Maybach. Yeah. Give it up. Tear it off. Cup it up. Chop it up. Drop top top. Heart top top. Cops can't stop. First name Elliot. Last name Ness. Untouchable. $300 million in dollars. Incredible. The money, the money, the money. Get it, get it, get it. I see the top of the Maybach. I see the top of the Maybach. 350 million, y'all. That's a whole lot of commas. Good night, folks. But yeah, Constitution, checks and balances, Congress, President Trump. Everybody better hold up. Congress, President Trump. Have we got something for Trump over here? We keep something for Trump. But what about the FBI? We got them too. Yeah, CNN. Y'all want to have all this stuff? Y'all Mueller and all the rest of them. I got them all. Showtime, baby. Let's get it on. The truth must be told. American people cannot let these crooked politicians evade the Constitution, checks and balances. Checkmate.